welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Clayton Show with my co-host. Oh my God, my co-host who finally returned back in the house, the beautiful, the one and only Yolanda M. Smith, the philanthropist.
Got that down pat. You're doing it so well now. I don't know what to do with myself. He calls me the branthropist, and he actually pronounces it right. He is on fire. What's up, Andre?
Hey, just another day. It's raining outside.
Well, where there's rain, the sunshine is on the horizon. That's how I look at it.
I don't understand how we can get all this fire from one geographical region that affects the whole entire Midwest.
And no, just not the Midwest. It was on the East Coast as well. But you know what? When you talk about fire, today's show is
on fire.
Fire. Y'all don't know who we got in the house today. Let me tell you, this is not only my mentor, but a friend. This lady is a powerhouse in the things she has done. I mean, she plays with the big boys. I mean, from the likes of, she likes to play with the Louis Vuittons of the world and the big boys. She's no joke. Okay. When you talk about somebody that has had a full career and everything she's had her hands in has been exciting and just empowering. I just love her. We'll talk about a little bit about how I met her a little bit later, but I cannot just wait. So I'm not going to even belabor the point. But when I tell you, I mean, you just got to hear this. She plays with Coca-Cola, Spanx, Nielsen, Toyota, Nestle. I mean, I just want to be like her when I get older. Bristol Myers, Louis Vuitton, Twitter. I mean, this is no joke, because when you got you got the Midas touch,
the Midas touch,
she's got a brand. I'm a branthropist. Her brand she's sought after. Okay, I love it. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you the top seller of all times in the RCI, in the timeshare industry. She is a renowned body language expert. She plays with the FBI, y'all. I mean, she gets them together. You talk about deception, you won't get it past her. Welcome to the show, none other than Miss Linda Clemons.
What's up, Linda?
Andre, Yolanda, where do I send the check? Wow.
Dial Beach Network.
Let me call my banker right now to get this money right in your account.
Okay.
Thank you so much, both of you, for what you're doing, getting the message out, for engaging your audience and allowing everyone to be able to get informed, educated, entertained, and to come into your space. And I'm honored to be in your space. So thank you.
You both are welcome. We are excited to have you. This has been a long time coming. I said, we got to get our studio just right, because if she'll come in, she'll tell you about it now. It'd be like, now, Yolanda, I need you to move this over here and do this over here. Babe, she'll be like, here she go, baby.
No, I'm trying to get my body language just right, because I don't want her to read her. Well, he seems a little timid right now.
She's going to tell you about yourself. She's going to tell you about yourself. But Linda, for the audience that may not have had the pleasure yet of getting to know you, can you just share a little bit about your story? I know you back in the days on the Breakfast Club, but we ain't gonna talk about how long but you went from radio to the stage. Just help the viewers get a little bit of insight into your story.
So I'm going to give you, and first of all, again, to the audience that's listening, and you have not just followers here in the Indianapolis area, your following is global. So just to give you a little backstory, is that how I got to radio. I was speaking at the age of 14. I've been traveling and speaking a lot. You can hear the radio voice, you can hear the rasp, but I've been speaking since the age of 14. And when I got my first little speaking fee, paid fee at $100, and back in the day at 15, 16, 17, I would be on the stage of the Ebony Fashion Show in Indianapolis. So there was a part for the little contestants to be able to do. And then later on, doing things in my church and in plays and speaking before groups, I always felt there was a message in me. It was later on in my journey that I began to empower women and also work with entrepreneurs, becoming a marketing director of back then the Hoosier Minority Chamber of Commerce, that later on became the Black Chamber of Commerce, and then I became the first president of that. And so what was so interesting, I was helping entrepreneurs get exposure in Indianapolis. So I had friends on the radio, then WTLC, on Meridian. And I got a friend who had a mail sorting business on the air with Amos Brown. I got to tell you the late Amos Brown. And so it was during that process, Yolanda and Andre, that as Amos was interviewing my friend, I just hopped in and says, Amos, that's such a good question. Let's pull this out of her. So Amos looks at me and he says, okay, during the commercial break, Linda, if I didn't know any better, you're trying to take my job. And fast forward, it wasn't the case, Andre. It wasn't the case. No. But listen, fast forward, Yolanda, fast forward. Amos was making a transition to another station. Here's the story. So he began to call community leaders, because he was taking some vacation time, calling community leaders to guest host his show. And he remembered me. Nice. So I'm doing, I think it was after the noon show. It was called the noon show on the AM. So I'm doing the noon show. And the next thing you know, the general manager heard me and says, who is this crazy woman with this weird kind of laugh? And then things got a little quiet then. And then they brought in this new morning guy by the name of Guy Black. Mm-hmm. And he was interviewing with the late Vicki Buchanan. Yes. And then he says, you know what, let me give it some thought. And then the general manager at that particular time says, you know what, there's someone else we want you to meet. Now understand, I didn't have a background in radio. So when they brought me in to have this meeting, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna shape some things around here. I'm gonna do the Oprah on air. And I had all these ideas. And Andre, they're looking at me like, we don't want you for that. We want you to meet this gentleman here. So before they introduced Guy to me, they let me listen to this tape. I'm giving you the story. So this is the backstory, the juicy story that people in Indianapolis didn't know. Mm-hmm. So they let me listen to this tape. And I said, okay, the guy's funny. He's good. I can have him on my show. So here's what we're doing. We're looking at Oprah on air. We're doing things like this. And so they asked me to be a co-host. A co-host. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you got to get up early in the morning. I said, oh, boo, I don't do 4 o'clock. I don't do 4.
When you realize what the co-host is, tell me too, because I think that's my title over here. I'm not sure.
Right. But then so all my friends, Yolanda and Andre, that I called up that were in radio. And I said, you're not going to believe what's happening to me. Girl, I wanted to do my own show on the AM, and they want me to be a co-host on the FM early in the morning. And my friends who are in radio says, are you crazy? That is prime time. Yeah. But that wasn't, and so the lesson of this is that where we are wanting to go and the picture that we may have, sometimes God has a different picture.
Come on.
Yes. God knows. Were you working on the book? Were you working on the little ebook? Are you working on this? God has a bigger thing for you. He has the next chapter. He has the movie for you. He has the TV show. And so that's what happened. So I was always doing my speaking. It was just that I kept my radio life more so private, separate from my private life and my business life. But it gave me a different platform still to this day. People don't know me as Linda Clemons. They'll go Linda LC Clemons, but it opened up a lot of doors. And then later on, I had, prior to that, I'd written a cookbook called Scrumptious Recipes for Sizzling Sex. And that's when the and so when they brought me in, now that okay, the beast moved. The beast moved when I said that.
You see that body language?
Oh, that body moved, baby.
How could you get a copy of that book? Is it still in print?
Is it still in print?
It's still in print. So what happened? They brought me on the show with Vicki Buchanan and at that time Brian St. James, just to see how I can blend in, if you will. And I asked, what do I talk about? And they said, well, talk about that cookbook that you've got out. And I did that. And then a producer found me from the Fox Network, the local affiliate. And that's when they were starting the morning show with Clarence Reynolds. And, and the next thing you know, I end up having a 5-year stint on the Fox Morning Show, in the Breakfast Club, Yolanda, doing the Breakfast Club. Also on the Fox Morning Show,
nice,
as the bargain diva.
Okay,
so every week I was giving bargains, and I have a registered trademark for that. So it's so everything that expands my company, been around a long time and been doing a lot of wonderful women's events. So I'm just excited. And I remember the journey. I remember the people along the way because they're all part of the chapters.
Isn't that amazing?
Can I
That
ask
is
the first
amazing.
question? Can I ask the first question?
Sure. You is it about the
Is it
book?
is it about the cookbook, Andre?
Because she got another one. Is it Chocolate After Midnight, or what's the that?
Yolanda, be quiet. You're gonna tell
Okay,
all the
I want that too.
secrets.
Look, I think I got a fan now.
No, my first question is, I remember you with Guy Black and so forth when I was bodybuilding and training, but until now, I just saw all the wonderful things that you've done and the people that you had the opportunity to meet. But my question to you is, out of all of these accomplishments, which one really stands out the most? Why does it stand out the most? And the second part of that, which one was the most challenging and how did you overcome that?
Wow. I think the opportunity that stands out the most for me was what was birthed out of that. I had a group called the Sister Posse, and it was a lot of the women that followed and supported me on the Breakfast Club. And then I began to realize, Andre, when I was doing these gatherings that started off with 20 women, then 50, then 100, then 400 women, packing the room, and we were transforming lives.
Mhm.
And who would have thought, from behind the mic to in the room to on a platform, transforming women. So that was the thing that stood out for me, the reach that platforms such as this, you're doing this wonderful podcast, Zoomcast, you're doing this, but now you're reaching more people than we're able to reach, even TV,
Right.
Even online. So what stood out for me, there were so many women that what gifts that I had, I was able to be a solution to whatever problem or whatever they were going through in their life. But the pivotal point for me in my career and everything that I've done happened for me on June the 4th, 1996. I just got off the air, signed off. I said, hostess with the mostest, plant you now, dig you later.
Remember that line.
I'm dating myself. And I was scheduled for outpatient surgery, just something minor. I was going to get it done, go in and come out, because the next day I had a keynote presentation before 1,000 people for U.S. Customs. So downtown Indianapolis, I was their keynote. And I believe his Mother Teresa gets credited with it, but others have said it, the best way to make God laugh is to make plans. So I go in the hospital, had the surgery, but something happened that I was in a coma for 7 days, heart stopped for 60 seconds. Next thing you know, my mom, was there. My family was there. My church members, Light of the World, were praying for me. My morning partner gets on the air and say to the listening audience who just heard me the day before,
Wow,
to pray for Elsie, to pray for her. And so what was so interesting about that someone from the conference everybody was wondering where their keynote speaker was. And someone said, well, we heard on the radio coming in that she's in a coma. So, and by the way, that is the only out of 40 plus years in the game, that is the only speaking engagement, Andre and Yolanda, that I ever missed. And I think it was a good excuse. I was in a coma.
Yeah, that's a pretty good excuse.
So, and my family said when I came out of the coma, I start quoting, just statistics and data and all kinds of stuff. So people knew me on the air as also a health fanatic, and I had my own health program. So Andre, you would be proud. I
already knew that. I was waiting on you to share that.
You'd be proud, Andre. I had Colts players and Pacer players coming to me because I had, I would mix my own herbs, kind of like the Dick Gregoryette,
Right.
and helping people lose weight. And so I just had so many people praying for me. But let me tell you what the coma did for me, because I'm coming out quoting statistics. What it did for me, I can understand how sometimes people are in a coma, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I can understand how people were in a coma and they don't want to come back. Because listen to me, family, listen. It was so peaceful. I saw my grandmother. I saw my aunt. And because I remember my grandma and my aunt, they died within minutes from each other. So we had a double funeral and I saw them alive and vibrant. I saw the place was peaceful. And it's no wonder because you don't know you're in a coma. And I believe, and who knows the data behind this, Andre, who knows, is it how you live your life? If when you go through those journeys, if whether it's violent or how you come out. So when I came out of that, it was like, man, my senses were heightened. Wow. And Yolanda will tell you this, I'm a fanatic regarding time. Yeah. She knows that for sure. Is it because that once you lose the time, you can't give it back? I can't waste your precious time. I can't give you back those minutes. So that taught me that tomorrow's not promised. To the day to the fullest. Just that minute.
Say that again, because people don't understand the value of how precious time is. That's the one thing you can't get back. You can't borrow it. You can't loan it. You can't. I mean, once it's gone, it's gone.
Linda, what did you do from that moment of coming out of the coma, coming back to a whole new you, a new birth? What do you bring now from that journey?
Wow.
To what's happening now? Because you're right, time is precious. Hey, this is Andre the Beast Creighton Show with Yolanda M. Smith. You guys subscribe, like, share, comment. This is a great story. And people fail to realize we don't really know what's going on. This is authentic. You know, we don't rehearse nothing here. Don't. No. So this is emotional for her. I can see it's emotional. It's emotional for me right now.
Yeah.
My question is, now what happens after that? Because I watch these stories of people telling that I was in a coma and they share the same journey.
When they see the light or see lights or something like that, that's amazing.
What do you bring now moving forward? You can take your time, but what do you bring forward from that?
Wait a minute, let me interject real quick. I'm gonna tell you what she brings. Let me say in my opinion.
Let me make my body language right.
Okay, get it right now. You know what? When I met her, this is just important. I knew of her. Again, I tell you, it's not who you know, it's who knows you, right?
And what they say about you.
Well, that too, when you're not in the room, right? But when I met her, I was invited to her conference. And this was 2019 when we actually met. And I go to her conference and I'm seeing all these women and a few men. Latham will give you a shout out.
Faith McKinney, give a shout out because she brought you to us.
Faith shared it with me. And of course, I knew Latham, but I get in this room and I'm absolutely amazed for a couple reasons. First of all, she's so dynamic, but you can feel her spirit when you walk in the room, number one. I mean, you feel her spirit. And what I noticed, I was watching her and she didn't know it, but I'm paying attention and everything she's doing is pouring into other people. She wasn't asking for anything. She was pouring. I mean, even down to don't go to one of her events now. The bags, the bags, baby, she will give you a bag that you are like, what? I mean, anyway, that's another story. I'm sorry, I digress. But the point I'm making is I went there and I knew within 30 minutes, I said, I'm going to be with her. She's not going to get rid of me. She doesn't know it yet, but I don't know how I'm going to connect to her, but I know she's not going to get rid of me. I said that within 30 minutes of meeting her. What was profound is that the room was filled.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is pre-COVID. This is 2019. The room is filled, but with only a handful of people from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm thinking she's having a conference in Indianapolis. We got 5 people representing Indianapolis and 400 people from around the country. How is that possible? I'm sitting here looking like, what in the world is going on? I mean, that's the impact that she has had on individuals, and they come back over and over and over again. But anyway, I'm sorry. You can answer the question.
But that's a
You reading her body language right now.
Yeah, but Andre, yes, but that's an important thing she brought up, because I said to her, because you were invited. See, because I don't do any advertising or social media. So all the people that have attended, and I'm in my 45th year, Andre, of doing women's empowerment events. I know
Right.
y'all thought I was 21. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's right, girl. Keep
I'm
looking
taking the
good. Keep
hairstyle.
looking
She
40.
looking
Keep it
good.
on, girl.
But my 45th year. And so Yolanda was amazed. And I said, You're here because you have something special. And someone saw that and you fitted into the room. And it wasn't not that we were being, she learned, it was not that we were being bougie, because there was another program that Yolanda got involved in. And she says, Am I the only one? Because you have to have the vision. You know, the Bible speaks of where there was no vision, the people will perish, and you have the vision. You can't bring people along a road that they have no desire to go. So to get back to Andre's question, and thank you for the transition, Yolanda, because to get back to Andre's question, prior to that, I had a photographic memory. You know, so I could look at something. Okay, I got it. I could look at something, take a test. I got it. And after that, Andre, I think I didn't remember that anymore. And I'm thinking, I need that for that. But guess what? The other thing that I had, God gave me increase in that area. So check this out. So there are body language experts around the world. You Google body language experts. Many of them don't look like me. They're the dynamic men and women, and many of them I know. So God gave me something in addition to the science behind what I do. So even when I was on the radio show, Breakfast Club, I was doing all of that for my corporate clients. But God gave me something else so that when I'm in the presence of someone, I'm 100% present. And God gave me something else that I thought that was quite a little scary, because I didn't know what it was. I knew that something was happening when I was a child, and I don't share this with everyone, so I got to be very, very careful. I knew that when I was a child, that family members thought I had a vivid imagination, where my grandmother would say, no, baby, no, honey, she got a veil. She got a veil. So folk from the South, you'll know what I'm talking about.
From the South.
And so later on, it's a thing that knowing the science, having been trained by some of the best out there, behavioral science out there, but knowing the science, but being present in a person's presence, so that part of the gift, Andre, if you will, in reading nonverbal communication, it's about the movement of when people move. So if I'm watching someone give a deposition, or I'm working with law enforcement or law firms, and I'm looking at the tape, analyzing the voice, but more important, the body language, which is our first language, but I'm looking and seeing something different that perhaps another analyst may not see. So the person may be moving. I can also do a solid read or a still read where you don't have to move. And Yolanda has witnessed that, I mean, countless times. And I'm thinking that's the heightened or the additional mojo, the additional juice that God has given me. So when I'm traveling and I'm speaking at wonderful churches, be it in Detroit, Triumph, speaking at Friendship West, shout out to Pastor Freddie Haynes, in the religious and the spiritual realm. Someone would call it the gift of discernment. Everything that we have, what your gift, Andre, your gift, Yolanda, comes from a power that's greater than us. And you all were chosen for it. But I think that's the thing that has helped me in corporate America, that can tell a CEO of a major retail brand that goes by initials, if you will, to tell them that this player will be fundamental to the organization, and this one may not be in the, because of their nonverbal and being present. So I think, thank God for the mess on the June 4th, 1996 at 11 o'clock. Thank God for that mess, because it brought me to this miracle.
Amen.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what I tell people all the time. Everybody has a story, and your story matters. And the importance of a story is that it helps to really cultivate your brand, because without a story, you really don't have a brand. And without your brand, nobody knows the value that you can deliver to them. This is powerful because this shows how you really encountered something you had no idea was coming. No idea was coming, but through it was birthed something that had you chose not to accept it,
Right.
as you could have fought the assignment, right? Had you chose not
I
to
like the way you said that. You could have what now?
fought the assignment.
I'm gonna use that. You don't mind? Fault the
Okay,
assignment.
take it.
Okay.
You know, but she could have said, I don't like this. This makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
I'm not going to do this. No. And people do that sometimes when they have their gifts, right? They said sometimes that fear of not understanding what has been placed before you, or you said it best earlier, wanting to do your own thing, not God's thing, your own thing. And that can get you all wrapped up. So this is powerful. I didn't even know the story like this. I'm over here going,
I called it LC.
LC.
Miss Clemons. I called it LC. Okay, my next question.
He done got excited. Now he said I was running the show. Who's been running the show? I ain't even got to ask a question. Go ahead.
After this one. My next question. Once again, thanks for being on the show. All the individuals that you know, give me 3 that has truly impacted you from start to where you at now.
I would say, of course, my mother, my grandmother, and the history and the legacy of Madam C.J. Walker. And then, of course, the Oprah Winfreys of the world. So when you can take a little and make something, make a lot, these women have left a great impression on me in my life, just through their stories, her story, if you will. And it has helped me tremendously in looking at their path when things were challenged for them, challenged because could be the color of their skin or their gender or being a first or how they looked. And these have been role models for me. And happen to have a friend who's the great-granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker, and a real good friend, and to be able to understand the journey and her story, it makes a big difference in my life. So those right now that come to me. And of course, my favorite book, The Lord Orders My Steps, is, I have a prayer that I do everywhere I go. I have a prayer that I did before this wonderful broadcast. I just have a prayer because I not only speak to God, he also speaks to me and he orders my steps. And because he does that, it allows me that when I'm working with my clients to get a glimpse of what God has in store for them. And so I'm thankful that God allows me to have a preview of your book, of your history, of what's in store for your future. God gives me a sneak preview of that. Now, I don't talk about that a lot because that can be spooky. So when I call people up and I'll call friends up and it goes like this, what's going on with you? Yeah, sounds familiar, Yolanda? And so you have to know me because you may be offended by the tone.
She done made me mad many a times.
Many a times. I know, and I know
I still keep coming back for more.
I know she might want to cuss me out. But then once I get through to her, she'll see it. So, I'm quite sure Moses couldn't go like this, Andre. People, let's cross. No, sometimes the tone has to jolt you to get you going. But I'll call up and ask, what's your purpose of doing this? What's your motivation of doing this? Where are you going? And you got to understand, for me to call up to do it, I'm busy doing my thing. That God probably tapped me on the shoulder and say, call your sister, call your brother. See, I'm being obedient. So I'm going to accept I'm going to accept that they're going to get upset or they're going to be joyful. It's not going to be in between. It's going to be one or the other. They're going to be upset because I have to deliver it. And many, many, many times, Andre, I've had people come back to me, dang, I didn't see it. Wow, you were right. Girl, I was upset with you, but you were telling me, and I'm glad I didn't get involved with this person. I'm glad. And Yolanda has seen those things happen on the stage. She's seen it happen in real time before thousands of people. So in doing the science, God always trumps any and all of that. And that's what I do. And I do that with my corporate clients and my private clients in giving them their purpose, path, direction, their career direction, and what God has made them for and ordained them for.
Linda, what were some of the weaknesses that you saw in women that you said this needs to be addressed? Let me share something with you real quick. And I like what you're doing. I was watching this thing called Cotton Picking the Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, it dealt with women in Mississippi. I'm getting emotional because it really touched me. How this lady, it goes back to what you said, share your brand. These women were still on the plantation, still living in the houses, have not had the ability or the resources to remove themselves from the situation. Their mindset was still being in the slave mentality. This is a true story that's still active today. I'm hoping that your message, the message that Yolanda's talking about, the message that the world is sending out, can actually reach a bigger set, because it boggled me that these women are still trapped.
Mindset's powerful, but so this would be a better question. Let's say this: what advice can you give to women today that may be struggling to really live in their authenticity, to stand in their truth and purpose?
That's why I got a co-host. That's what the word means.
That's how the feminine,
because you have the experience, you have the expertise, and I don't know that there's a whole lot that you haven't seen. And you continue to go out here and pour in. So that would be a good question. What advice could you give?
So one of the things, and thank you for that information, Andre, because so many people have been down so long.
Yeah.
They don't know what it feels like to get up, because they've been down so long. And so many women have taken a step back because they're pouring out and they're giving and they're nurturing everyone else. And now when it's my time and it's my turn, many of them don't feel worthy. Here's the advice I want to give to all women that are out there, and hear me out. You can have an identical twin, but your fingerprints are different. No one in the world has the same fingerprints. So you can have an identical twin, with the exception that your fingerprints are in it. You were, number two, you were put on this earth, I believe, for one reason. There is a problem that is waiting for you that you were destined to solve. Because the Bible says your talents and your gifts will make room for you. And number three, it doesn't matter what you're going through. You got to remember, you are the words you are going through to get to. And then the gift and the talent that is in you, it was built in you. We live in Indianapolis, Indiana, family. Here we are living in Indianapolis, and we are home to the largest racing spectacle in the world, the Indianapolis 500, where cars are going around the track. I mean, over 200 miles an hour. Both of you probably have a very nice car. You could probably pull out of the glove box the manual, and you see how fast the car can go.
Yes.
But yet you're driving around the city at the limit. Okay. I don't want to run. Okay. I don't want to run. Thinking about this. You are driving around at the speed limit because someone told you this is how far you are able to go. But you pull out the manual and it says it can go this fast. And so I'm pulling the manual out of you and I'm telling you, It's built in you. So you're saying to me, Andre, Yolanda, you're saying to me, Belinda, I can't speed in the city. I can't speed in the lane. And I'm telling you, that's why the world is open for you. There's an open field that you can put your foot to the metal and go to the max. So many of us are stuck at the lower speed limit.
Woo.
I
We
put
say
my
you
foot. I put my foot to the metal.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you can be at a frequency and you stay there. So let's talk about this. What's next for Miss Linda Clemons?
Oh, I've got some surprises that are going to be coming out nationally, but I recently was the guest expert on MTV.
She now is a movie star, y'all.
Y'all, you've got to see the episode of MTV's Celebrity Couples Retreat. Season 3, episode 4, you got to see it, Around the Ring of Fire. And that was so fun. I've done national television before, but it was so fun to come in and they not know the expert that's coming in. And they had us sitting around the Ring of Fire. And the host, AJ, said, okay, this is my friend Linda Clemons. And she's sitting here. So they're doing sound bites and outtakes where Apollo's saying and his wife is saying, who the blank is this Linda Clemons? And so now we're on the Ring of Fire. So she asked, "Are one of the celebrity couples? Are you going to continue to cheat or do this?" So she's doing all this with the different couples, and I'm just sitting there, and then she says, "I'm going to tell you the truth. Let me be transparent. Let me tell you who my friend is. She's world-class body language expert, Linda Clemons, and she's been reading your body language." And oh my gosh. So I gotta challenge the audience to go there. I've got to look at it. So because what's gonna happen is that when you watch that episode, because the episode's past, it was in May, right? But you could go back and see it, like we can watch this over and over again. But what was so interesting, the look, you could see the body language changed of everyone around the fire. When I asked one particular couple, I said to him, "Are you going to marry her?" Now listen up, audience. I ask a specific question. It's either Andre what? Yes or no?
Or no.
Right.
Yes
it's either yes or no. So here's a little tip for you. Here's how he responded. Are we going to get married? You don't need to repeat my question. It's either yes or no. And then he said he did, made a statement with an extension on it. And when I say a statement with an extension on it, so I'll give you a good example. Let's say, Yolanda, that Andre and I are dating. This is a hypothetical. Don't start a rumor and just take this soundbite. Okay.
It's an example, people.
This
will be all over the news. The beast of Linda Clemons.
And then I'll say, so then later on, you'll come to me because it's first the statement is going like this: Andre and I. So you see the connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's the connecting. Andre and I bring together. So then you talk to me about a month later. So how's you and Andre doing? Child, we went to the mall. I went to the mall with Andre. You notice I put Andre at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the mall with Andre. I'm dissing. So he did that kind of thing. And then I leaned in and I did this. I don't believe it. You're not going to marry her.
Wow.
And you could hear, and then all the other celebrity couples, I think Ronnie from New Edition, everybody start just like shifting around, like, oh Lord, is she coming to me next?
Like, Lord, keep her away from me.
So it was so good. Got great feedback from the producers. The audience loved it, and there's a couple of things that just waiting on a few things to be inked that hopefully I'll be announcing soon on the national. So there's some great things.
This has been amazing. So how can people connect with you?
They could connect with me through, my niece, who has been my assistant for a while, she says, Auntie, you got to give your Instagram. Because you all got to remember, I was social media before Mark Zuckerberg was born, boo. So anyway,
Tell them.
So you could connect with me on Instagram at Linda Clemons and on LinkedIn at Linda Clemons. Yeah. So those are just follow me. And so you can stay tuned for some good, juicy stuff that's coming up.
That's exciting. So you watched the episode again. Let's talk about that. That was on MTV.
Episode 3. No, season 3, episode 4.
4. And what was the show called again?
It's like around the fire. I can't.
Ring of Fire, but it was
a Ring of Fire, Truth of Fire, or something like that. Yes.
Okay, absolutely, because it's a great episode, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Oh my God, you want to take us away?
Well, I got an idea for you too. I got an idea. Are you open?
Reading body language, Lord.
I got an idea for you.
Look, Linda, you see, I'm like this.
I know you. See, Yolanda knows better. See, you know what? I got to tell you what I love about Yolanda, and I got to let everyone know that even though she may get upset with me, she knows I love her, and I know she loves me. But what I really appreciate about her, that she gives a respect and an honor. So when I'm giving her feedback, she listens. You may not like it. And then when I break it all the way down, when the coaching sessions, it makes sense, because I'm looking out for my brothers and my sisters. I've been down that path, and telling you, honey, you do not want to go through it, because you may not have the emotional capacity to even deal, because it's a different beast right now out there, Andre, different people out there. And the competition is strong. So if I can help you get through something, get to the finish line faster, I will. So here's the prediction that I would like to have for Andre the Beast with his fabulous co-host Yolanda Smith is this. You all need to do because I'm going to do something special. You need to do a live event where you just bring everyone in to a live studio taping, because I'm working on something and I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, but I'm giving you this thing first because I feel it for you, because it's setting a platform for your next chapter.
Hey, hold down a minute. This is divine. Boy, look, woo, somebody come
in here.
I already started working on that. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe, like, share. This is an extended version, uncut.
Right, yeah. We went way over the 30 minutes, but I'll tell you what, we're not cutting an ounce of it out. It's going live like it is in living color.
I really appreciate that. And definitely I've already start putting that in motion, but I like the fact that not only was I've already put it in motion, I like the fact that now you validated it.
Amazing.
It's different when you do it, but it feels better when someone sees the bigger picture, and by me already putting it in motion. Oh my God, this is extended version. Contact LC Clemons. Look, you got to get it.
Clemons.
Yes, Lord,
it's been Clementized, people. Clementized.
Thank you so much for being on this show. This has been amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creighton Show.